But I was drawn. I needed to go see this place because it was a real place. Now, remembering that I was very resistant to religion of any kind, I wasn't religious. I picketed the Bible studies in my nursing school. Well, almost. But I was drawn to go to this place. And my friend Christine and I showed up, and it was a rainy, rainy day. And I forgot to tell you that we decided to see Europe off season when nobody else was there. So we were there in October, November, and December. So here we are at Lourdes on this rainy day in November, and everybody's holed up inside trying to get out of the rain. And Christine and I struck up this conversation with this old man. Well, when you're 22, he looked really old. And he was from Italy. I spoke a little bit of schoolgirl French, and she spoke a little bit of schoolgirl Spanish, and he spoke maybe a smattering of English. And somehow we managed to communicate with one another that he had come from Italy to Lourdes to see the grotto before he died. I thought that was a lovely story, and we enjoyed him. We thought he was very cute. Well, I went out to wander around while my friend Christine, I think, went into one of the chapels. And I went out to the huge patio area that is out there to take a look around, wondering at the people who would come to this place and toss away wheelchairs and crutches and be healed. There was nobody there. Nobody. It was off season. It was a rainy day. There were two people at the altar under the grotto. There was one woman kneeling there who had a red and white cane leaning next to her, and she knelt at the altar to pray. The next person I saw was my friend, the old man. This always makes me cry. The old man came out and stood at the altar to the left of the lady who was blind. And he looked up at the grotto, at the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and he started to sing. He started to sing an Ave Maria, and my heart melted. I just had tears rolling down my face, and I said, I don't know what's going on here. I can't believe that I'm moved by this. The resistant moi was moved by this man, and in hindsight, I realized that was the day when my resistance began to break down. The journey that I had taken to this foreign land, the journey I had taken and the time I had spent with someone who spoke a different language from me, was breaking down the resistance that I had to God's presence in my life. In the hindsight, I realized that. I think we are all invited every day to be on an adventure, on a quest, to reach out for the star that is before us. Reach out for the star that beckons us, not to resist God's presence in our lives. To let that newborn baby crack open that resistant shell that is over our hearts and open us to God's presence and signs in our lives. Every day, there is a sign of God in your life. There is a presence of God in your life. Something to ponder, something to embrace, and something to celebrate. With the power of that presence, you and I are invited to seek out new worlds, to seek out new missions, perhaps to go where no one has ever gone before.